I'm a little conflicted because, on one side, I'm happy that the A's won today, because they won. But on the other side, like the Mariners fucking suck right now, and they could use every win that they need. And it's just making my prediction look bad for the preseason predictions. So
I said they were going to go to the World Series, dude.
I feel like the World Series was quite the stretch for you on that one. I'm not going to lie. When you said it, I was like, World Series? I don't know about that one.
I just didn't really feel a lot of these teams. It was a lot of the same bullshit. I was like, let's shake up the system. And no.
Yeah, but you thought that young talent would get them all the way to the World Series in year one?
Yeah, but you know what? Plenty of season left. But yeah, we do feel stupid. We can agree on that, right?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that I feel stupid because it's a long season ahead, but I would say that, I don't feel confident in my pick anymore, especially with the Astros just killing it. And every time I come on here, I'm bash the Astros about like, they're not for real, but they keep winning games. And then the Angels, it's like, I need to see what actually happens with them. And then they also keep fucking winning games. So it's, it's a process, but we're almost 2 months in. So I feel like we have a decent preview of what's going on.
Yeah, I think, anything's, look, if we want to, we love talking about other sports. If we want to use an analogy, look what Boston, where they were at the beginning of this calendar year.
It's true.
And now they're at the time of this recording.
They look bad before that Derek White trade.
Yeah. And just at the time of this recording, we're recording it Wednesday, the 25th. They're a game away from the finals. So, hey, you never know. Mariners, I believe in you. You're going to do it. Just don't
you never know.
do it.
A's. I feel like we do now, though.
I like your jib, kid.
Welcome to Town Tailgate Podcast. Sorry for that. That was weird. That's a fine if this was Left Guard Joe. I'm Chris Magical, and that's Julio right now. So today's topics of choice by myself and Julio, of course, because we produce the show. Some tension between a couple star players for the Yankees and the White Sox that a lot of people have been talking about the past couple of days. Angels might be looking at a new home, maybe Vegas. We'll talk about that. And a player who we shit on for about 2 weeks ago is just lighting up. And then we'll get back into some more roster moves. Welcome Face back on the pitching staff. A Chris Madrigal favorite is also back on the team. The old guys getting it done for the A's. And I have a interesting hot take that I'm going to walk through after we get back from the break. But first, Julio, let's talk about the big story of the week. This past weekend, the White Sox played the Yankees, and Josh Donaldson was up to bat. He steps up to the plate, and Yasmani Grandal starts talking to him. And Josh Donaldson kind of like looks away for a second, then he kind of hears what he's saying and responds back. And the argument gets very intense and very heated. The bench is clear. The umpires have to break it up. And we find out at the end of the game that Josh Donaldson had been heckling, I guess you could say, Tim Anderson all game, calling him Jackie. Nickname Jackie, for Jackie Robinson. There's a little bit more to the story. Josh Donaldson had responded to the press after the game. He had said that in 2019, Tim Anderson had done an interview with Sports Illustrated to where he said that he wants to bring the fun back to the game of baseball, and he is going to be the Jackie Robinson of bringing fun back to the game of baseball. Josh Donaldson decided to use this as a joke, and ever since then has been whenever, because he used to play for the Braves as well as the Twins. Anytime he would play the White Sox, he would call him Jackie as a joke, and he claims that it's an inside joke. He says that all of his teammates on the Braves would also do the same thing, and Tim Anderson never said much about it. But Tensions flared up this past weekend. Yasmani Grandal stepped up for his teammate, and decided to confront Josh Donaldson about it. It was a very heated series all weekend. There was a lot of tension, a lot of scuffles, and that is the story. Julio, your initial thoughts once you gathered all of the information.
I hate to admit this because of, my fandom and all that, but I think it's a long enough time. I think it's time to admit it. Josh Donaldson's just an asshole, man. Like, obviously his time in Oakland, cannot love the guy anymore, right? He seemed like he was doing all the right things in the clubhouse. He was doing all the right things on the field. And he seemed like a really loved player. But look, we've all had situations in our lives, I think, where you may have made a joke to somebody you may have not known that well, and it just didn't land. And that's and cool, back off, not doing that again, kind of thing, right? They're not your boy, so don't make that joke. And I'm sure people have done that to us as well, when they make a joke like, hey, you don't really know me, like that kind of thing. So the fact that he still did this again, when this is what you said, this has happened multiple times.
He said he's been doing it since the 2019 Sports Illustrated article.
Yeah, so that's not cool, dude. What are you doing? And there's also rumors of, I forgot where I was reading this up the other day. I should have sent it to you when I grabbed it, that there was actually like in other teams that Donaldson had played for. I think it was post Toronto, so it was either with Minnesota or with Atlanta, where like he just did not get along with like Latino players, and that it's like a lot deeper of a thing. I can look it up in a minute when I talk a little bit more about this. And the fact that like Aaron Judge didn't get your back. Aaron Judge pretty much said like that was a big mistake for him to even say that, and he didn't really try to say, oh, it was a joke. He said, no, that was disrespectful and in poor judgment. Dude, I'll be honest. Forgot to mention, he did get suspended for a game, and insult to injury, he is on the COVID IL now. So that's that.
Yeah. Real quick, Joe Kelly made a fun little comment on it. He does the radio show in where does he play now again? Joe Kelly?
They're teammates
in New York.
Or Tim Anderson and Joe
White
Kelly.
Sox. Yeah,
he's on the White Sox.
Joe Kelly every week goes on the local sports radio show. It's like 8:30 or something like that. He does like an hour on there, like a host. I think he wants to get into sports talk radio when he retires. Anyway, and he said his comments were pretty funny. He's like, when they announced that Josh Donaldson got suspended in one game, he was like, crazy. I got suspended 8 games for making a face. Okay, I'm sorry. Keep going. That was funny though.
Oh God, I didn't think about that. Jesus Christ. And it's also like, how do you even set a bar for this kind of thing? Because look, there's definitely worse things he could have said. We can agree on that. And it's kind of like damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of thing in this situation, whatever suspension it was. It just kind of sucks because we both love Tim Anderson. We love everything he does on the field, everything he does off the field. Yeah, you got to I think I would say confidently, I think he might be your favorite non-A.
He is my favorite non-A.
Yeah. So like, even though during the playoffs, I fucking hated him in 2020, he was just every at bat. I think he batted like almost 400 during the wild card series.
Yeah.
But you know what? It just kind of sucks because we're really seeing who Josh Donaldson's true colors are, and at the end of the day, it sounds like he's just always been kind of an asshole.
Yeah, there's just a lot of levels to this that I think that we need to touch on in order to understand all sides of this, to be honest with you, because that is an initial reaction. That's a fair initial reaction that a lot of people had. I'm not saying that's your initial reaction. You've looked into this and we've thought a lot about it, but that's an initial reaction to a lot of people. But so where I think the big thing is like, where is the line on little racist comments like this for society in general. Because, like, for example, when I go play pickup basketball, I would say 9 times out of 10 when I go play pickup basketball, people call me the Rock. Hey, the Rock, nice rebound. Or they call me like Junior Seau, nice rebound. So for those of you who haven't seen me or seen my, I don't know, our YouTube page or whatever, I am brown, and I am a large guy. I'm 230 pounds, 6'1", and I would say that there's not a ton of fat on my body. So I'm a bigger,
Cool story, dude.
built. Bad timing, dude. Bad timing for that joke. So I'm a bigger built guy. So people's first like initial stereotype of me is that I'm Samoan, Polynesian, Tongan, whatever you want, Pacific Islander. I'm not. I'm half Mexican and I'm half. My mom's half white. All kinds of European. So people just initially stereotype me. But like when I'm on the basketball court and someone says like, "Hey, like good shot there, Rock," or "good shot there," whatever, I don't really make much of it. It's just guys just like just you know talking, like I wouldn't even call that shit talking. It's just kind of like just random like name calling. Now calling someone Jackie is it's not the same level as that. But I think there is a level to where guys take that and they kind of like run with it. There's a lot of guys that don't quite know the limits to that, to where the line to that. I think Josh Donaldson is clearly one of those guys who doesn't understand the line, where that's kind of like, being compared to Jackie Robinson is just it's quite the it's just never a good idea, because he's just such an influential person, not only in baseball history, but sports history, in society, in American history, in civil rights history. So like I'm never going to support someone giving that nickname to anyone, whether it's a joke, whether it's self-proclaimed. If it's self-proclaimed, it's even more offensive to me. I'm never going to accept that. That's definitely not okay, because I have a lot of respect for Jackie Robinson as a fan of baseball, as a historian of American history, and as someone who is supportive of the civil rights movement. I guess you could say. I don't know, who knows his shit. But I think Josh thought that was what he was doing. Now, the other side to look at is Tim Anderson says in his statement, "I wasn't bothering anybody." And I think that says so much about what Tim Anderson has had to go through his entire life, being a Black American man, especially growing up in Alabama. He's from Alabama. He probably has to defend himself and explain to people all the time for actions that other people do to him when he wasn't even doing anything. Like I guarantee he has said that line in his life so many times. "I wasn't even bothering anybody," because it's true. He wasn't. Josh Donaldson was just doing that to him. For whatever reason, he said that in that article in Sports Illustrated. Like, fine. Like, he compares to Jackie Robinson. Bit of a stretch, bro. Probably shouldn't have done that. But at the same time, he was doing it in good faith. He was trying to say it as terms of bringing fun back to the game. Like, I respect that. But like, I don't think he should be teased about it years later that he hasn't done that. And I can never step into his shoes and know what it's like for people to start shit with you and you haven't done anything. That's just something I don't understand. So I think that a perspective is the best way to really understand the situation, is that he wasn't even doing anything wrong. And it wasn't like he started this fight either. His teammate was sticking up for him. He's probably going in the dugout and he's like, "This motherfucker keeps calling me Jackie. I swear to God, like, he better stop doing that." And Yasmani Grandal was probably very offended by that, as any friend of someone who was going through that probably would be. And he was like, "Fuck that. I'm not going to like let this dude get away with it." So, I mean, there's so many levels to this. A couple days later, he was getting criticism from some probably more right-wing opinion people that Tim Anderson was overreacted. And, a couple days later, Tim Anderson made a statement that there was no inside joke between him and Josh Donaldson. Take that with a grain of salt. It's a lot easier to say that afterward, to try and, defend your actions. But at the same time, he wasn't the one who started it. It was Grandal who started it. So like that opinion on him overreacting is bullshit in the first place. So yeah, it's just weird. I don't know Josh Donaldson enough. I'm not going to call him an asshole. I'm not too fond of him these days because of this, but there's just so many levels to this that it's just really hard to tackle. I think we've said it all. I don't think we should touch on this any more than we've needed to. We're not fucking civil rights professors. So those are our opinions on it.
And at the end of the day, Tim Anderson gets the last laugh because he's arguably the best shortstop in baseball right now. And Josh Donaldson is washed up.
That's why I love him.
All right. On to the next topic.
Josh Donaldson.
And at the end of the day, look, maybe Donaldson can go through some sensitivity training and go through this. And that's what we hope he does. But until then, you're kind of a dick.
Yeah.
All right, Chris.
Vegas Angels?
Vegas Angels? One of the places that I've called home.
I've got a big grin on for those of you who are listening on the podcast.
Yeah. One of the places that have had called home for my life. Anaheim, lived there for 3 years, and I worked at Disneyland. Very interesting city, to say the least. And things really got a lot more interesting in this past week. If you didn't know, a few years ago, exactly 2.5 years ago, the city of Anaheim agreed to sell the stake of Angel Stadium. So the city owned the lot and the stadium, their portion, to Arte Moreno's management group for $320 million. And if you hadn't seen, the intention is to completely redo the Angel Stadium area. So it's like Oakland. There's just huge parking lots everywhere where it's going to be, hotels and restaurants and apartments.
And it's already been coming up. They've been building like nice luxury apartments. There's breweries over there.
Yeah. So the area is coming up and all that stuff. Well, that is all going on a complete hold because the mayor has resigned. The mayor of Anaheim has resigned after it is shown that he actually took less money than what should have been paid for with the land deal. And he had asked that the Angels in return donate, quotation marks, $1 million to his campaign. On top of that, other stuff that's shown is I think we all knew this about who are also Disney fans, as Disney's also was very involved with the politicalness when it comes to Anaheim mayor. That's a whole nother topic. But it's not like this dude is corrupt as fuck. He got ousted. And now the city council has voted against the sale of Angel Stadium to Arte Moreno's group. Artie just loves a mess. This dude just seems like, look, don't get me wrong. John Fisher, scumbag. Here's the difference between the two. John Fisher is, at the end of the day, you kind of hate him for it, but you get it. He knows what he's doing. He's blown it up. He's not putting any investment to it. Until shit gets done, not investing. Whereas Arte Moreno, since his time as ownership, the mid 2000s, the guy has made a lot of really bad moves from this team, whether it be giving Josh Hamilton that deal, trading for Vernon Wells, giving Tim Lincecum a chance. CJ Anderson, and then giving Albert Pujols that deal.
Anderson, no.
CJ Wilson.
Yeah.
Letting guys like Mike Napoli and CJ Crone, that's another dude, like walk on top of the whole Tyler Skaggs, tragedy that happened with his overdose and having it linked to somebody who's working in his clubhouse. And now they're saying, well, now the future of the Angels, who's I believe their stadium lease is through 2025 through 2029, sorry, with a club option for 2038, because I guess the stadium's like a fucking baseball player where they can extend their option. So now who knows, Chris? Are you gonna stir the pot? Are you gonna start calling them the Las Vegas Angels?
I mean, when their fans talk shit back to me, which is the last Angels game is what happened. I wasn't shaking my head. I was cracking my neck. Sorry. Yeah. I mean, the last Angel game I went to, the A's won, and I was obnoxiously chanting "Let's go Oakland." So maybe I was asking for it. And then like 10 Angel fans were like, "I thought they were the Vegas A's." So now I'm gonna be like, "I thought it was the Vegas Angels." So it just gives me another like more ammo to talk shit back to them. It's gonna be great. They'll probably kick my ass, but it'll be worth it. I don't know. I mean, I don't. I'm joking about that. I don't know if there's actually a race to Vegas. I mean, I don't know if they have a backup plan or not. So I guess we'll see. Maybe Long Beach is more realistic now, like John said a week ago. I kind of wish that we had John on this week now, so that we could talk to him about this situation. But I don't. I
It
mean,
kind
it's
of
just,
did.
it's
Yeah, we
just
should have did an
it's just
emergency
a
pod.
it's just another it's another stadium situation going on in the league that it has just it's so open ended, and it's owner trying to capitalize on more revenue by getting a better ballpark, and they're put in a shitty situation because of politics. And I mean, it blows my mind that the Rams can get their beautiful stadium built, and the Raiders too, their beautiful stadium built in like 3 years. Like they put the deal together in 1 year, and then 3 years later it's built. But it takes us, the Angels and the Rays, fucking 10 years to figure it out. I don't know what it is about politics and them shitting on the and baseball, but man, it's just like a fucking clusterfuck. And like it's what we keep saying. Like it feels like so repetitive. Like another problem with this league. They can't figure out their fucking stadium situations. Like, I mean, I'm sure
Yeah.
there's more around that are. I mean, Marlins Park isn't great. They probably like no one likes going there. Um, I mean, ugh, I don't know, dude. I don't know.
Oh, we can go further. In California alone, you got Chase Center, which was, you know, shovel and ground
They
and
got
open
that
in three
done quick
years.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, you've got Sacramento, who fought to get the Kings there, and I bet you they kind of regret it now. But
No,
still, I've
Sacramento loves that team, bro. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna.
yeah, but like, have you been to? I was gonna call it Sleep Train. I'm like, no, that's
Golden One. It's
Golden Arena.
beautiful.
Golden One. Awesome. Yeah, like, and
Yeah.
that got built relatively quick. Not a lot of
Yeah.
loopholes. And then just potentially 30, 40 minutes away from us, whenever it's done, the new Clippers arena.
And
So like
all the
LAFC.
The crazy thing about it is all the stadiums you're naming too are privately funded. So it's not like these places like Milwaukee where the citizens are going to be paying taxes for the next 50 years for it. They were all privately funded.
Now, look, don't get me wrong. I'm always going to have a soft spot for that stadium because for 3 years, that was my home stadium. I'd go to every A's Angels series when I was living in Anaheim. I'd go to random games, all this stuff.
Well, Julio,
that being said,
it's super uneventful. Like
I don't like going there
pretty
anymore.
boring.
I like this.
I enjoy the Coliseum more than I enjoy Angel Stadium.
Like I went this last week, and I went to the A's Angels game on Saturday. Frankie pitched. She got hit in the hand. Not fun. And it was country weekend, which look, not my cup of tea.
I love country music.
Cowboy hats everywhere. Whatever, cool. Give me some Johnny Cash, Garth Brooks if I'm drunk enough. Of course, my homegirl, bless up to the God, Dolly Parton. But
still alive, my guy.
I know, but it's bless up. So it's just,
got it.
Yeah. But it's like I saw numerous "Let's Go Brandon" shirts, and it's just like every time I get the reminder, I'm like, I'm in. Oh, that's right. I'm in Orange County, the home of fucking Tito Ortiz as like a
Brandon. I don't know what that is.
Do you know now?
Let's not talk politics, but
I'll just give a quick summary. Let's Go Brandon there was a Republican convention where the chant there it's chanting "fuck Joe Biden," and the person as the mic was like, "Oh, are you saying let's go Brendan?" And then now they just have it as their shirts. But anyways,
okay.
And I think the biggest thing too, besides the crowd, at the end of the day, it's whatever. I'll live through it. it is hard to get around that stadium.
Yeah, it
Dodger
sucks.
Stadium.
You
Yeah.
have to go down and then you have to go up and then like in order to get to the bar. Remember when you guys were at the St. Archer bar when we went to the game last time? Like for me and Jackson to get to you, it took like an hour because we couldn't figure out how the fuck to get there.
And I love like that's Dodger Stadium. Now that they have a lot of these modern amenities, they have these elevators that can just take and drop off on the
So
floor
easy.
and all this stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's super easy. But who knows, man? I hope they stay in Anaheim.
Yeah.
If not, I hope they stay in Orange County or Greater Los Angeles, whether it be Long Beach. But yeah, no, they can't leave. At the end of the day, we fuck around and say Vegas, but no, they got to stay down here. There's too much of a history of that team in this area.
I think
But we'll
Long
see,
Beach is
man.
technically Orange County, but it's like basically the second like the second major city of Orange County though. Like it kind of feels that way, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and we'll see, man.
Like people who work in Long Beach, they live in like Orange County. Like they live in like Irvine or something like that. It's kind of, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but that's my feel. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see as the story develops because it's so new right now. You know, it's just
Artem Moreno, just play clean, dude. How hard is it? Come on.
All right, next story is literally about Trevor Story. So story. Good segue.
The never-ending story.
So since Julio and I shit on the Red Sox and Trevor Story 2 weeks ago, he's been on a fucking tear. He's 8 for 24 the past week, 6 home runs, 17 RBIs, 10 runs. If you're playing daily fantasy, you should pick him for just a pointer.
Guess who went up against him in fantasy baseball last week?
Oh wow.
Yeah, what's up? I still won, but it was stressful.
Who has him in the league?
Shout out to my homeboy Tim Wiseman. You may have met him before, and I worked with him at Disney. He lives on North Hollywood. Huge Dodgers fan. But
if you would have said Idris, I would have been so upset.
Oh no, Idris sucks.
Yeah,
he also sucks in fantasy baseball, but yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, he's on a tear right now. The Red Sox, it's tough division for them. Let's just say that. But yeah, Trevor Story. Maybe it's looking like a good signing now. We were shitting on it a week ago, but it looks pretty good now. What do you think it is? Wasn't Devers hurt? Is Devers back, or was it Bogarts that was hurt?
I think Bogarts was hurt.
So are they back? So maybe there's like people, it's just like it's fucking up the order for the pitcher now. So he's like, oh, I can't pitch around Story. I can't pitch around Bogarts. Like, I don't know. So
I'm actually looking up who they played during that stretch because that might answer our question. But no, it actually doesn't. So they played the Astros, who
Oh wow.
But then they played Seattle, who looked at it, I feel like a little more confident as an A's fan after seeing them play against Seattle the last couple of days. But it's interesting. I think and those were both away games as well, away series, which is kind of a trip. But it just shows you that, like, you know what? They're
3 games 500 right now.
After all that, I think it's just a slow start. I think at the end of the day, he probably was getting to his head a lot. Now it's starting to seem like guys who start off a little bit funky, who because of I think the easy way out of this explanation is the short spring training.
Yeah.
And now you're seeing guys who are starting to kind of figure 100%. It out again. I think, straight up, I'll say this. Lou Trevino's been playing much better. Another kind of guy who you can say that delayed spring has helped him out a lot. Yeah. But we'll see, man. It's you kind of forget, like, oh, that's right. Trevor Story, when healthy and is on one, is like easily like a top 3 shortstop in baseball, man. It's crazy. You kind of forget about that.
He plays second base now, though, but yeah.
Shit. Well, he's probably the second best second baseman in baseball, then.
Better
Who'd you put in front
Marcus of Semien, or?
Don't look at Marcus' stats, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
He hasn't hit a home run. Jed Lowry's playing better than Marcus.
This year, yes. Spencer Torkelson? Or no, he's been playing first.
He's been played third, and he's also been butt. Altuve is always there.
Brandon Lau. I don't know what his stats are this year though.
Oh, give that to you.
I would take Brandon Lau over Story. Brandon Lau's consistent.
You like that Lau, pal?
Yeah. All right,
Yeah,
we're gonna take a quick break, but coming up, I'm gonna tell you why the A's absolutely need to trade Ramon Laureano. What's next?